Hey, good morning everyone. I got some time today and I wanted to make another video. And this clearly pertains to buying really a used car. And so one of the big things that a lot of the forums do is, they tell you to check your Carfax, check underneath it, check the wheels, check the tires, check the paint, make sure it hasn't been wrecked. But I want to tell you guys about how one of my friends got burned on one of these Daytona Chargers, and this has been several years ago. So lots of times, whenever you have a car that is like a Charger, which I think the Charger back in 2015 and even now is probably one of the highest stolen vehicles out there. A lot of guys will buy these cars and then swap the VINs on them. So I just want to make a quick video and just tell you guys the way that I buy my used cars, and it'll keep you from helping you get burned, because whenever he bought his, he ended up having to fork over the cost, and he essentially got sued, and obviously lost, and had to make right on it. And then there's all the other legal implications that can also be involved with that as well. So really, the big thing you want to check is obviously you want to check the VIN, which is usually right here, and I've got mine covered up for obvious reasons. But then what you also want to do, guys, is you want to come over here to the door, and typically with a Chrysler car it's going to have it listed right there as well. Okay, so you have it on the door, and then lots of times these cars will also have them in the door jambs, which I'm not sure if this one does or not, but lots of times you can check the doors or the panels, and they'll have them in here. I know Acura does this. They'll etch them into the panels, and then they'll have them in the trunk as well. But yes, what you want to do is you want to make sure that this VIN right here matches the VIN that is on the door. And the reason this is so important is because what lots of these guys do is they'll buy these, or they'll steal these cars, and they'll end up taking the VIN off of one that's not stolen, and they'll only replace it in one place. So what I always do is I go online, I research where the VINs are going to be located on the car. Is there one on the dashboard? Is there one on the door? Is there one underneath the dashboard? Is there one on the motor? Is there one on the fender tag? And that, in my opinion, second to checking the Carfax, or really, I mean, Carfax can be wrong. Really just making sure the car is a good car is make sure the car is not stolen. It's really probably, honestly, should be the number one thing. And in my opinion, actually, now thinking about it, is the number one thing that I check. That's the first thing I do. I check all the VINs, make sure they're all the same. And if you're buying from a reputable dealership, still check it. They get burned too sometimes. If you go online on YouTube, there's videos of people buying stolen cars from dealerships, reputable dealerships. I'm talking, big multi-million dollar ones, and you don't want to get caught up into that implication. You don't have enough time for that. So just a little bit of due diligence goes a long ways. And I'll do the same thing here with my Bronco project that we got here. I went up here, you check the VIN, and then you go over here to the door, or this plate right here. You check this VIN right there, and then it may have one on the other side, and then you match it up to the title and make sure that it all matches up correctly. Run your Carfax on it. Sometimes Carfax can take up to 2 to 3 months to catch back up to the car. So a lot of these people will sometimes steal a car last week, throw the thing on it, and then try to get it sold before the Carfax catches up to it. So that's why it's so important to check the VIN tags. Okay, so VIN tags. Remember that whenever you're buying a car, because like in his instance, he bought the car. He paid cash for the car. Lots of us will take out notes for the car. And if the car is not reported stolen yet, or it's not in the system yet, the bank will still give you a loan on that car. But guess what happens if you find out the car's stolen? The government, the state, whomever, comes and seizes the car, and then you still owe the car note on it. So, I mean, it's a really big mess. And so that's really what I wanted to make the video on. I've seen so many YouTube videos on how to buy cars and yada yada, and make sure it's not right, check the tires, check the motor, blah blah. Hey, that's all second to making sure the car is not stolen, and I suggest doing that really with any used car, but especially with highly stolen cars like Honda Accords, you know, Dodge Chargers, Chevy trucks, you know, anything that is highly stolen. Um, if you're buying used, make sure that you check your VINs. But anyways, guys, have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you later.